Moto Scout, exploring life on two wheels.
Welcome back, YouTube. While I put out a video last Friday or Saturday, I actually taped that one probably a month ago. So it has been quite a while since I've been on the bike with my camera ready to roll. Just a quick update of what's kind of going on with the channel, at least. One of the major reasons for the lack of desire to make videos was my laptop I was using to do the editing was really frustrating. It was taking, I'd say, 3 or 4 times longer, with a couple of aborted video edits. You know, you'd get halfway through it and it would just freeze up and be lost. So when you're doing something for fun and it's not fun, you don't have a whole lot of motivation to do it. But with the help of my son, we have picked out a new desktop for me to use, and it was a whole lot better when I did that edit of the old footage. So I'm out today making a new video for you. Last weekend I went out and took care of my visibility problem. As you can now see, I have a high-vis mesh jacket for the summer. I have a high-vis jacket in the winter, but when it gets into the 80s and 90s, it's a whole lot more comfortable being on the jacket with a mesh jacket. So I thought I'd talk to you today about buying this jacket off of Craigslist. Yes, I bought it off Craigslist. It's not a new jacket, but I've got it, I'd say, at about a $120 discount. I paid $45 for a jacket that had been used for a couple years but had no flaws. Doesn't even really have any fading. Of course, I don't know if high-vis fades. I guess if it fades, it just becomes an actual bearable color of yellow. So what do you need to be concerned with, or what do you need to do if you're going to buy something off of Craigslist? Now, I'm not talking about a bike. I have bought a bike off of Craigslist. I bought my first bike, the Honda Rebel, off of Craigslist. But that's a little more detailed to what you need to be looking out for there. But there are just some general safety concerns when you buy something off of Craigslist, whether it be for a motorcycle or otherwise. First thing I do is I try to play investigator with the ad. Does the ad sound like a scam? Did they use broken English in the ad? Does the pricing make sense? If something is too good to be true, it probably isn't. Well, this particular jacket, the guy had a reason for selling it. He had outgrown it and had gone and bought pretty much the same jacket, come to find out. So you don't have to have a reason for selling something, but it does at least ease my mind a little bit about what I'm looking into. 2, does the price make sense? He had it listed for $50. It's a $160 jacket, but not everybody will be willing to, 1, buy used clothing or gear off of Craigslist, and 2, there are fewer buyers probably for the high-vis stuff. Now, a lot of people don't even like to wear gear. It takes a special breed to wear high-vis gear. So $50 for a no-flaw, nice brand. It's a first gear jacket. A jacket seemed it seemed in the right price range to me. Other thing I shy away from is doing anything that isn't local. Now this was a couple cities away, a county or two over, but it wasn't too far to go, so that if I got there and he didn't show, or I got there and I didn't like something about the jacket, it didn't fit, you know, I'm not out a lot of time. I'm not going to be feel pressured to buy something just because I drove 5 hours to get to it. So I like to do things local. I also need to meet in public. You don't want to, or I don't want to go to somebody's house. I don't want to go somewhere late at night, and I would prefer to go to a business that is actually open when you're meeting. I'd like to get my price nailed down before I go as well. I mean, it doesn't have to be totally nailed down, but I don't want to go and do all the negotiating then and there. One, I don't want to be so impressed with the product that I pay too much for it. And two, it's a waste of time if you all aren't in the same ballpark before you go out to do the deal. So knowing your ballpark, I also kind of intentionally don't take much more in cash than what I intend to pay for something. I don't think I'm going to get robbed or anything in a public place during the daytime, but if I'm going to get robbed, I'd rather get robbed of whatever I was willing to pay for the product than, you know, hundreds of extra dollars more. Another way to be a little bit safer is take a friend with you. Now, I didn't do that on this. I felt pretty good about the situation, and I wanted to ride the bike and didn't have anybody riding with me that day. But that's another thing you can do to make the transaction a little bit safer for you. So here's final thoughts on buying motorcycle gear off of Craigslist. One, I think motorcycle gear is essential. You don't know how essential it is until you actually need it, until you slide off your bike. It will save a lot of money and a lot of pain, hopefully, if you've got the right gear on, if you do have one of those unfortunate situations. That being said, motorcycle gear can be really, really expensive. I mean, you need boots, you need pants, you need a jacket, you need a helmet, you need gloves. You start adding all that stuff up and getting multiple pairs of boots and multiple jackets, and you might have as much in gear as you do on your bike. So Craigslist does provide you the opportunity to fill some of those gaps in your gear closet with some cheaper alternatives. Now, I wouldn't buy a helmet off of Craigslist. You don't know if it's been dropped, how old it is. Just buying a used helmet doesn't seem like a good idea to me. So if you're in need of some gear or curious about a type of product and don't want to pay full price for something, take a look at Craigslist, take a look at eBay. You might just find yourself a bargain. That's all I've got for you today. Just wanted to open your eyes a little bit to the possibilities of Craigslist as a place to buy gear for your ride, and to literally open your eyes a little bit with this jacket. I would say that nobody will be pulling out in front of me at a stoplight like that they did in that crash avoidance video. But if they do, I've at least got some gear on. So you guys get out there and enjoy the open road. Until we meet again, Moto Scout out. on your side, buddy. Some chunky stuff in the road.